I have $100 Thunderbolt 5 cable here, and I also have a $30 USB 4 V2 cable. And believe it or not, on paper they look almost identical in terms of spec and capability. And of course, they are not exactly the same. But after done testing both, I can tell you this cheaper one right here will probably cover most people's need. So in this video, I'll break down the difference between the two, and most importantly, when it actually makes sense to spend extra money for this Thunderbolt 5 cable. Let's get started. Let's start with the basic question. What are you actually using this cable for? In most cases, it's going to fall into one of these categories. It could be used for dock connections, external SSD, multiple display setup, or even PCI expansion if you are on a PC. However, if you are mostly using a Mac and your need fall into the first two, congrats, you don't need an expensive Thunderbolt 5 cable. But to prove my point, I'm going to run a few tests using this USB 4 V2 cable against this Thunderbolt 5 cable. So you're gonna see in the real world uses, the difference is actually the price. The first thing we are going to test is transfer speed. Now Thunderbolt 5 is only available on the M4 Pro and M4 Max model, which I don't have here. But the good news is these cables are fully backward compatible, so for this test we are going to test a Thunderbolt 4 speed. Now I'm transferring 80 GB of 4K footage from a 40 GB SSD to my Mac, and honestly the result surprised me. Both cables are fast, but the 𝐶𝐶 cable actually finished about 10 seconds faster than the Apple Thunderbolt 5 cable. It's not a massive gap, but it clearly shows that price does not equal performance here. On the next step, I also do video editings with all the footage stored externally. And as far as I can see from importing clips, playback, or swapping to the timeline to applying video effects, everything feels pretty solid. If I did not physically see the external SSD sitting right here, I honestly wouldn't know the footage wasn't on the internal drive. And of course, gaming from an external SSD is another super common use case, and probably is the one I use the most. Performance here was excellent. FPS, smoothness, and load time all identical to running game locally. Even though we are capped at Thunderbolt 4 bandwidth, there's no noticeable latency at all. And if you do see any stutter or lag, trust me, the bottleneck is not the cable, it is the Mac itself. So what I got here is the Thunderbolt 4 dock, and as you can see on the two sides, we got a different port expansion from SD card slot, USB-A to even audio jack. But the most important thing, we have two more Thunderbolt 4 port right here. And I'm gonna use these two ports to test the display expansion capability of this cable. So what I'm going to do now is power up this dock and then hook up these two monitors to the Thunderbolt 4 port right here. And then on one end of the USB 4 cable, I'm connected to the dock, and then another end on my Mac, and then just power up the dock and wait for a few seconds. It should work. So as you can see, under 5 seconds, both monitors are powered up and work perfectly. So these monitors are both 4K and 60 Hz, which is the standard of Thunderbolt 4 and USB 4, right? And at the same time, also my Mac is charging. But here's a catch. This cable can deliver up to 240 watts, but the Mac Thunderbolt port only accepts up to 100 watts. So this is not the fastest way to charge your Mac. If you want the better way, you should go with the default MagSafe charging, which can deliver up to 140 watts. But in another scenario, if you have another Windows laptop that can support charging up to 240 watts, then you can unlock the full capability of this cable. Now that we went through a few tests, and it is clear now that these two cables are pretty identical in terms of docking, transfer speed, and display expansion. So if that is all you need, I will highly recommend to buying this 𝐶𝐶 USB 4 cable because it saves you a lot of money. There's no reason to spend extra money to buying this Thunderbolt 5 cable if you are not going to take the full advantage of it. Remember the chart we looked at earlier? Thunderbolt 5 really stand out for PCIe expansion, a standard that not all USB 4 cable support. If you are unfamiliar, PCIe stand for Peripheral Components Interconnect Express. Basically, it is how you connect external hardware like eGPUs or capture card to boost your system performance. Thunderbolt 5 has dedicated PCIe tunneling, which means it can transfer data just as fast or even faster than your computer internal components. This makes a great way to upgrade a less powerful system with an external GPUs. But since Apple switches to the M series chip, Mac user can't really do this anymore. So it's less relevant if you are on Apple Silicon Mac. But if you own both Mac and then a Windows PC or laptop, using the Thunderbolt 5 totally makes sense if you are going to connect it to an external GPUs or any PCIe device. Other than that, you can just buy a USB 4 V2 cable from 𝐶𝐿. It saves you a lot of money, but doesn't compromise on performance. Also, one thing I like about this cable is the build quality is so durable as well. It is wrapped in strain-braided nylon, which offer great abrasion resistance. I really like this material. It's not only durable, but also feels premium to the touch. Another point to consider is the cable length. Unlike the Thunderbolt 5 cable, which only come in one side, this cable come in multiple lengths for you to choose. And I find that extra length make it so much easier to set up a clean and organized desk. So that is everything for today, guys. If you're looking for a Thunderbolt 5 alternative, check out this 𝐶𝐿 USB 4 V2 cable, and I will drop the link in the video description below. Other than that, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you soon in the next video.